Hey, what's going on, guys? Steven here. We're moving along the Omen series today. We're going to be checking out the fourth installment in the series, Omen 4 The Awakening, released in 1991 and directed by George Montesi and Dominique Grenard. So after the third installment, we know that Damien is dead as we think it from the end of the third one. So the fourth one kind of takes a new turn, and while not being a whole lot different, it puts a little bit of a twist on it. So let's get into the Omen 4. So in the beginning of the movie, we see the York family adopt Delia from a Catholic church, it looks like. And what it seems like and what it feels, you can tell that the church knows something that the York family doesn't. And you can tell that some of them know that what they're doing is wrong, giving them this baby because they know what she is. And it doesn't take long to know who Delia is, because at the beginning of the movie it shows a scene where they're trying to baptize her and she's refusing the baptism. She's crying and yelling and screaming. And then not too much farther after that, the priest that was trying to give her a baptism has a heart attack in the church and dies. So right off the bat we get this eerie feeling of the movie that I really like. I think it worked really well. I really like the opening to this movie. It set off the movie tone very well for an Omen movie and an Omen sequel, especially how kind of played out the series kind of is and how they're trying to do the same thing. I think the way they switched it up with the girl being it was enough change for me to enjoy it, and I thought it was a really good opening. So then we cut into the future. Delia is kind of a little girl now, and the family that she's adopted into, the father is running for a congressman or mayor or something like that. And we have Michael Woods and Faye Grant playing the parents in this movie, which I think they did a pretty good job. Not really a performance to call home about, but I think that they did a good job in their roles. I enjoyed watching them on screen. And we have Asia Vera, I think that's how you say her name, playing the little girl of Delia. I think she did a really good job. I thought she was really creepy. In some ways, I thought she was creepier than Damien. That might be controversial, but I think that she had more of a creepy vibe to her than Damien did, in my honest opinion. I think it just worked a little bit more having the evil in a little girl rather than a little boy. For some reason, that makes it creepier for me, and it really worked. We have this really cool scene near the beginning that's almost like a Pet Cemetery moment. We have Delia running towards the road. I forget what she's chasing, but I think it might be like a ball or something they're playing. Or it might be a kite, if I remember right. And the Rottweiler dogs that we've been seeing in this series, that's kind of like Damien was using them as the evil. A Rottweiler dog kind of like that saves Delia from being hit by the truck. So that was a really cool scene, very intense. And then going throughout the movie, we skip a little bit further into the future. Delia starts going to school, and all these events kind of occur, just like kind of the other Omens. It's just wherever Delia is, bad things happen. She gets bullied at school and she ends up killing the bully. They go try to ride a horse or do some like horse lessons, horseback riding lessons, and the horse reacts to Delia when she gets close and doesn't want her anywhere near it. Very weird things happen, like Delia starts menstruating and she's only 8 years old. And then we get this new character, kind of like a nanny or a babysitter, and she's into like the crystals and like the new age religion and stuff like that, and Delia is reacting to it very badly. She hates it, and that makes the maid kind of get a little bit suspicious, and she starts wondering what Delia really is and why she's reacting this way to her. And they even go to like a new age fair that Delia freaks out at. Huge fires start breaking out. It's really crazy. I thought it was a good scene, but just stuff like that starts to happen. Wherever Delia goes, something bad happens, kind of like Damien in the previous movies. Like I said, this movie is kind of the same, but at the same time it worked for me. I thought it was an entertaining movie. And then after not being able to get pregnant for a very long time, Karen, which is the stepmother, gets pregnant. The reason they adopted is because they were trying to get pregnant for a very long time and couldn't, but she all of a sudden gets pregnant. But Karen starts to get really suspicious of the baby, so she actually hires an investigator to find out what is wrong with Delia, because she's showing more signs, and even they're starting to get suspicious now. And that investigator does eventually find out the truth about Delia, and that she has the number of the beast tatted or engraved on the top of her mouth, I think it is. And we have a really cool death scene with that investigator. He gets killed by a wrecking ball, if and I thought that was a really cool kill, very unique. So in the third act, we have a really crazy third act that I thought was very entertaining. We have this huge compilation of Karen finding out that Delia is actually Damien's daughter, and that the baby that is inside her is Delia's twin, and it was actually planted inside of her. It wasn't a natural baby. And within all this, Karen hired another babysitter for Delia, and that babysitter ended up being a Satanist to try to help Delia. And at the very end of the movie, we have a really cool shot of Karen trying to kill Delia, but Delia forcing the gun on Karen and killing herself. And that is the cold ending of this movie. We don't get a happy ending. Delia is still alive and out there. The last scene we see is her walking with her dad out of the frame. So I thought that was a very cool ending, a very ballsy ending, not a happy ending, which usually works better in movies, in my opinion, especially horror movies, because you have the evil still out there. Although they never followed this movie up with a sequel, so I'm not sure really what happened there. But overall, I enjoyed Omen 4: The Awakening. I'm going to give it a 3 stars. I thought about giving it a 3.5, and with a rewatch, I probably would give it a 3.5. I haven't really looked, but if I had to guess, this movie probably isn't liked very much in the fan base because it kind of is the same movie. But for some reason, it worked for me. I liked the little girl aspect of Delia. I thought she was creepy. I thought it was an entertaining movie. I thought it had entertaining kills, creative kills. And overall, I thought the story worked very well with the twin being planted inside of her and Delia being Damien's daughter. It worked for me. I thought it was very entertaining. For me, being a casual fan of this series, it worked for me. So let me know what you guys think of Omen 4: The Awakening. Do you hate this movie? Or are you kind of on board with me with thinking that it's an entertaining horror flick? Let me know down in the comments. We can talk about it. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.